Drew and Tristan Tate, more faith, no religion. Cut the grass low, see the snakes, better vision. Circumcision pause, cut their heads off. Loyalty, no improvision of boss. Y'all gon' learn y'all lesson. Class in, what's the science?
We the Tate brothers, every time you speak real, they take something. Either your life, freedom or money, but them snakes coming. 300, yeah, we might be few, but hot off of sparring. Niggas carry sticks to make that bread, not talking Olive Garden. Darling Parton, looking like Dolly Parton. Please get the...
And now, our feature presentation.
They say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world.
Biography of Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton was a leader in the Black Panther Party who was harassed and targeted by local law enforcement and the FBI, resulting in his murder during a police raid on his apartment on December 4, 1969. Who was Fred Hampton?
In the early morning of December 4th, 1969, before sunrise, a truck from People's Gas stopped outside an apartment building on 2337 West Monroe Street, Chicago's West Side. 14 undercover Chicago police officers quietly got out of the truck, carrying different guns, including pistols, a shotgun, and even a machine gun. They had a detailed map showing the layout of the apartment where leaders of the Black Panther Party in Chicago lived. The map clearly marked the bedroom where Fred Hampton, a 21-year-old leader known as the chairman of the Chicago Black Panthers, was sleeping next to his pregnant fiancée. At 4:30 a.m., the police kicked down the front door and started shooting. They fired more than 90 times, even shooting through walls and windows with a machine gun. When the shooting finally stopped, 4 of the Black Panthers inside the apartment were badly injured, and 2 had been killed. The first person killed was Mark Clark, who tried to reach for his own shotgun but was shot in the heart. The second person killed was Fred Hampton, who was shot while lying in his bed. The police had been ordered by Edward Hanrahan, the state's attorney for Cook County, to carry out a search warrant for illegal weapons in the apartment. Hanrahan later held a press conference claiming that his officers were attacked by surprise by the Black Panthers. Hanrahan asserted the swift and violent response of the individuals inside who fired upon law enforcement officers despite their clear identification highlights the extreme cruelty exhibited by the Black Panther Party. However, Hanrahan's narrative quickly unraveled and the unsettling truth would take over 10 years to fully emerge. These kinds of raids were not unusual in the early 60s, but why exactly was Fred Hampton and his colleague killed by the U.S. government? The deaths of Hampton and Clark were not just a random act of violence. Shocking revelations from classified documents showed that the FBI had carefully planned and orchestrated the incident. They had a hidden agenda to suppress and destroy the Black Panther Party, which they considered a major threat to national security. It was a tragic event that resulted from a larger covert operation. This revelation exposes a deeply disturbing chapter in our history, wherein calculated actions were taken to undermine and suppress a movement that sought to address systemic injustice and advocate for the rights of Black communities. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was created in 1966 by 2 Black college students in Oakland, California. They wore military-style berets and used a raised fist salute to show their commitment to Black empowerment and resistance against racist violence, especially from the police. The Black Panthers also took up social causes like their free breakfast program that provided meals to thousands of hungry kids before school. Hampton was a bright student from the suburbs of Chicago, made a name for himself as a youth leader in the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He successfully fought for a desegregated swimming pool to be built in his hometown. In 1968, when Hampton joined the Illinois Black Panther Party, he quickly became known for his powerful speeches and his ability to bring people together across racial lines. He fought against police brutality and worked to address poverty in the most neglected neighborhoods of Chicago. According to Jeffrey Haas, one of the founders of the People's Law Office in Chicago and a member of the legal team that sued the Chicago police and the FBI over Hampton's killing, Hampton was a charismatic and dynamic leader. He formed a rainbow coalition that included Puerto Ricans and poor whites from Appalachia. Hampton also established a health clinic and a free breakfast program, showing his dedication to the community. Hampton was born on August 30th, 1948 in Summit, Argo, Illinois, and later moved to Maywood, another suburb of Chicago, with his parents. His parents had migrated from Louisiana as part of the Great Migration of African Americans seeking a better life. They both worked at a cornstarch processing company called AgroStarch. As a young boy, Hampton showed both academic and athletic talent. He had dreams of playing center field for the New York Yankees, but while in school, what mattered to him most was fighting against racial injustice, especially against blacks in America. At just 10 years old, he started hosting breakfasts for kids in the neighborhood, cooking the meals himself. This can be seen as an early version of the Panthers' free breakfast program. In high school, Hampton led walkouts to protest the exclusion of black students from the competition for homecoming queen. He also called for the hiring of more black teachers and administrators. Hampton graduated from Proviso East High School with honors, varsity letters, and a Junior Achievement Award in 1966. He then enrolled at Triton Junior College in River Grove, Illinois, where he studied pre-law. His goal was to become familiar with the legal system so he could use it as a defense against police misconduct. Hampton and his fellow Black Panthers later monitored the police in his community through a supervision program, and his legal knowledge came in handy as they defended against police brutality. When Hampton turned 18, he began identifying with Third World socialist struggles and reading the works of revolutionary figures like Che Guevara, Ho Chi Minh, and Mao Zedong. He not only advocated for peace in the Vietnam War, but also supported North Vietnam's victory. Hampton became actively involved in the NAACP and took on leadership roles in the organization's youth council in the West Suburb branch. His natural leadership skills were evident as he built a strong youth group of 500 members from a community of 27,000. He worked tirelessly to improve recreational facilities and educational resources for the impoverished black community in Maywood. Hampton played a big role in the Black Panther Party as the deputy chairman nationally and the Illinois chapter's leader. He was a progressive African American who founded the Rainbow Coalition, a political group that fought against racism and classism. It brought together different communities like the Black Panthers, the Young Patriots, who represented poor white people, and the Young Lords, who represented Hispanics. He even worked to bring street gangs in Chicago together for social change. Hampton believed in ideas from Marxism and Leninism and saw fascism as a big threat, saying that stopping fascism was really important because it would affect all of us. In 1967, the FBI thought Hampton was a radical and tried to disrupt his work in Chicago. They spread lies among black progressive groups and put a secret agent in the local Panthers group. On the night of November 13, 1969, while Hampton was in California, there was a violent confrontation between the Chicago police and the Panthers. Two police officers, John J. Gilhooly and Frank G. Rappaport, were killed in the gun battle, and another officer died the next day. A total of 9 police officers were shot, and a 19-year-old Panther named Spurgeon Winter Jr. was also killed by the police. One of the Panthers, Lawrence S. Bell, was charged with murder. The Chicago Tribune even published an editorial calling for police to be prepared to shoot suspected Panthers without hesitation. As part of the FBI's COINTELPRO operation, they were determined to undermine the leadership of the Black Panther Party. The FBI, in collaboration with the Chicago Police and the Cook County State's Attorney, planned a raid on Hampton's apartment in Chicago. They had obtained detailed information about the apartment, including its layout, from William O'Neill, an informant within the Panthers. A team of 14 armed officers were assembled for the pre-dawn raid, armed with a search warrant for illegal weapons. On the evening of December 3rd, Hampton taught a political education course at a local church, attended by many Panther members. Afterward, he was accompanied by Johnson and several Panthers back to his apartment on Monroe Street. They were joined by Blair Anderson, James Grady, Ronald Doc Satchel, Harold Bell, Verlina Brewer, Louis Trulock, Brenda Harris, and Mark Clark. O'Neill had already prepared a late dinner for them, which they ate around midnight. Unknown to Hampton, O'Neill had spiked his drink with a sedative to make sure he remained asleep during the raid. O'Neill left after dinner, and around 1:30 a.m. on December 4th, Hampton fell asleep while talking to his mother on the phone. Although Hampton was not known to use drugs, A chemist later reported finding traces of barbiturates in his blood. The FBI's chemist disputed these findings, but the initial tests stood. The raid in his apartment in Chicago occurred in the early hours while it was still dark outside. A heavily armed police team arrived at Hampton's apartment. They divided into two teams and stormed the premises. Mark Clark, one of the Panthers on security duty, was sitting in the front room with a shotgun. The police shot him, and he died instantly. Hampton, who had been drugged with barbiturates, was sleeping in the bedroom with his pregnant partner, Deborah Johnson. The police removed her from the room while Hampton remained unconscious in bed. The raiding team fired at the head of the south bedroom, hitting Hampton in the shoulder. According to official records, an officer then shot Hampton twice in the head, killing him. Witnesses heard an exchange between the officers indicating that Hampton was barely alive but would not survive. His body was dragged into the doorway, leaving a pool of blood. The police then directed their gunfire at the remaining Panthers who were in the north bedroom. Brewer, Satchel, Anderson, and Harris were seriously wounded, beaten, and dragged into the street. They were arrested and faced charges of assault and attempted murder. After the raid, the apartment was left unguarded, and members of the Panthers, along with videographer Mike Gray and photographer Norris McNamara, went to investigate and document the scene. The footage played a crucial role in proving that the raid was an assassination. It was later released in the documentary The Murder of Fred Hampton. The revelation of the illegal COINTELPRO program following a break-in at an FBI office raised suspicions that Hampton's killing was part of this covert operation. Documents exposed a floor plan of Hampton's apartment and a cover-up deal between the FBI and the Deputy Attorney General. During the legal battle for justice, attorneys Jeffrey Haas and Flint Taylor uncovered more evidence linking Fred Hampton's killing to the FBI's COINTELPRO program. They obtained an FBI memo that authorized a payment to informant William O'Neill, who provided the FBI with a map of Hampton's apartment. COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program, was a secret and illegal operation carried out by the FBI from 1956 to 1971. Its purpose was to spy on, infiltrate, discredit, and disrupt various political organizations within the United States. The FBI targeted groups and individuals that they considered subversive or a threat to national security. This included a wide range of organizations such as feminist groups, the Communist Party USA, anti-Vietnam War activists, civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., the Nation of Islam, the Black Panther Party, environmentalists, etc. Interestingly, COINTELPRO also aimed to monitor and disrupt white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan and the National States Rights Party, showing that it targeted both progressive and far-right organizations. The FBI used various tactics including illegal surveillance, infiltration, spreading disinformation, and even inciting violence to undermine these organizations and their causes. COINTELPRO remained hidden from the public until its existence was exposed and revealed through investigative efforts and the release of FBI documents. By piecing the puzzle together, Haas and his team revealed that a Chicago FBI agent named Roy Martin Mitchell had given the map to Hanrahan, the Cook County State's attorney. Hanrahan saw this raid on the Panthers as an opportunity to advance his career. FBI agent M. Wesley Swearingen came forward as a whistleblower in 1977, disclosing that the FBI had tipped off the Chicago police about the raid and warned them of armed resistance. Swearingen later wrote a book detailing the shooting and other related incidents. Initially, the case was dismissed by the first judge after a long and grueling 18-month trial. However, Haas and Taylor persisted. They prepared a detailed 200-page brief connecting the FBI to a conspiracy aimed at undermining and eliminating the Black Panther Party and its members. In 1970, the survivors and families of Hampton and Clark took legal action by filing a civil suit. They claimed that the joint police and FBI raid violated the civil rights of the Black Panther members and sought $47.7 million in damages. The case went through a long process, including a lengthy 18-month trial, which was reported to be the longest federal trial at the time. After the trial concluded in 1977, Judge Joseph Sam Perry dismissed the suit against many of the defendants before jury deliberations, and later dismissed the remaining defendants when the jury couldn't reach a verdict. The plaintiffs appealed the decision, and in 1979, the Court of Appeals found that the government had withheld important documents, obstructing the legal process. They reinstated the case against 24 of the defendants and ordered a new trial. The defendants appealed to the Supreme Court, but in 1980, the Supreme Court voted 5-3 to send the case back to the District Court for a new trial. Eventually, in 1982, the city of Chicago, Cook County, and the federal government agreed to a settlement. They agreed to pay a total of $1.85 million to a group of 9 plaintiffs, which included the mothers of Hampton and Clark. Each plaintiff received $616,333, equivalent to $1.73 million today, making it one of the largest settlements in a civil rights case at the time. G. Flint Taylor, who was one of the attorneys representing the plaintiffs, stated that the settlement was an admission of the conspiracy between the FBI and Hanrahan's men to murder Fred Hampton. However, Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Grunberg clarified that the settlement was made to avoid another costly trial and was not an admission of guilt or responsibility by any of the defendants. In January 2021, more than 50 years after the tragic killing of Hampton, a significant development took place. Through a Freedom of Information Act request, hundreds of FBI documents related to the COINTELPRO program were finally released to the public. Among these documents was a revealing letter written by none other than FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover himself. The letter, dated just 6 days after Hampton's murder, was addressed to Roy Martin Mitchell, the Chicago FBI agent responsible for organizing the raid. In the letter, Hoover expressed his gratitude to Mitchell for his exemplary efforts. Hoover went on to commend Mitchell's outstanding services in a matter of great interest to the FBI, specifically in the racial field. To show his appreciation, Hoover approved an incentive award of $200 for Mitchell's contributions. This document shed further light on the extent of the FBI's involvement and its approval of the raid that resulted in Hampton's death.
I'm the Deputy Chairman of the State of Illinois Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton. We work with anybody and form coalition with anybody that has revolution on their mind. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world. We're not a racist organization because we understand that racism is an excuse used for capitalism. And we know that racism is it's a byproduct of capitalism. If we don't hate the motherfucking white people, we hate the oppressor, whether he be white, black, brown, or yellow. We're going to fight racism, not with racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity. We said we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. Everything would be all right if everything was put back in the hands of the people. And we're going to have to put it back in the hands of the people. And these people in this class have divided themselves. They say, I'm black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate black people. I'm Latin American and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we're fighting amongst each other. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism because fascism will stop us all. That's the people's thing. Socialism is the people. You're afraid of yourself. If you're afraid of socialism, you're afraid of yourself. With no education, you have neo-colonialism instead of colonialism. What we're talking about is there has to be an educational program. That's very important because if they don't have an education, then they're nowhere. You dig what I'm saying? They're nowhere because they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. You understand me? You might get them caught up in because they're poor and they want something. And then if they're not educated, they want more. And before you know it, they'll be capitalists. And before you know it, we have Negro imperialists. Me, myself, you know, I was born in a so-called bourgeois community and had some of the better things you could see in life. And I found that there were more people starving than there was people eating. And I found that more people didn't have clothes than they did have clothes. And I found that I just happened to be one of the few. And I made a commitment to myself that I wouldn't stop doing what I'm doing until all those people are free. You got black Easter, you got black Christmas, you got black brown all day, you got black April Fool, ain't here toward nobody but black businessmen. And I say that anybody that comes into our community and does any type of situation that does not meet the needs of the masses, then I, Chairman Fred of the Black Panther Party, says that I'll catch that nigga by his collar neck and beat him to death with a Black Panther paper. We not doing it. Taking us nowhere. We're gonna stay right here with the people. We're going to have to move, and we got to move fast, we got to move hard, and we're gonna have to move organized. That I'm too young to die, I want to live a little bit longer. What you did already. I'm saying something that might wake up some other exploited people and some other oppressed people, and if all these people ever get together, then these pigs that are exploiting us, we'll be able to run them into the lake. That's why they want to get rid of us. I don't believe I'm going to die from slipping on a piece of ice. I don't believe I'm going to die because I got a bad heart. I don't believe I'm going to die because of lung cancer. I believe that I'm going to be able to die what I was in the thing that I was born for. I believe that I'm going to be able to die high off the people. I believe that I will be able to die as a revolutionary in the international revolutionary proletarian struggle. Why don't you live for the people? Why don't you struggle for the people? Why don't you die for the people? All we want to know is that you're doing what we'd be doing if we were here. And you got to do that. You can't do it unless you believe that you can do it. In the spirit of liberation, we understand that they want everybody in the party in jail. So the quick solution, the speedy one, nobody goes. Nobody goes. We all stay right here. With the people. Because we love the people. Okay, you can put your hands down now. We say all power to all people. We say white power to white people. Brown power to brown people. Yellow power to yellow people. Black power to black people. X power to those that we left out. We say Panther power to the Vanguard Party. Before you go to bed tonight, say I am a revolutionary. Make that the last word. Say that. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs.